So we got this thing moving and firing. Pretty exciting, right? uh, so for those of you who want to finish the enclosure, like they want to have sides and a lid and all that stuff, we're gonna continue building this thing, right? Because it's got everything. So right here, I have one of the sides. I'm just gonna do one of these videos. The other video, I mean, you can the other side you can assume from this side. So what we got here, it's on purpose, right? Okay, so we got some drop-ins down here, or some slide-ins down here, some slide-ins up here, right? Some slide-ins right here, but where are the slide-ins right here and here, right? So I guess I could have put them in here, but still, I'd rather just have them back here and use drop-ins for up front. These ones I'll probably never use drop-ins because you have to lift the whole machine to get them to line up right. So first thing I'm going to do is install some drop-ins on these four holes here, on this hole, this hole, this hole, and this hole. Okay, so should have heard this by now. This is going to be M5 by 10 and some washers, right? So M5 by 10 and then a washer. But before I put this on, I'm going to slightly distort the threads, right? There we go. And then I'll put it through here. And a little bit on there. Okay. Gonna do that 4 more times. Now the reason I like to do drop-ins over here is it's a lot easier to line up. When uh when I put these things on, like this side on, like I could have even used drop-ins on the side. Thankfully gravity keeps the slot nuts up top held in place, but gravity keeps the slot nuts out of place on the side here, right? So what I'm going to have to do is when I mount this thing, I'm going to have to line up the screws, but then I'm going to have to go and start from the outside edge to get this thing lined up. I guess I'll show you that. Like I'll have to have my laser over the edge so I can attach one of the screws and then slide it up and attach the next screw. It'll make sense in just a second here. I'm on the last screw here. All right. Got that started. Cool. So, like I was just saying, I'm going to have to bring this thing a little bit over the edge. Like that. Okay. That's over the edge. Now we're over here. Now, I'm going to have to capture these. Well, I guess I'll have to line these up first. So I've got this right here, right? I'll start lining up these bolts or these nuts here. Okay, that's about right. Same thing on bottom. Line those up. That's about right. Okay, cool. Now I got to start capturing these over there. Okay, so I'm going to do an M5 bolt and then a washer and get it ready here on my tool. Okay. I'm gonna bring this all the way down here, right? So I'm gonna have this slid all the way down here, and I'm gonna capture that first slide in, right? And so I'm just like, if I get it too tight, it won't slide up. So I'm gonna have it sort of loose here. Okay, I'm gonna prep my next one. All right, got that prepped, and now I'll slide it up until I can capture this one. Okay, so it's still kind of loose there. Now I'm gonna line up my slot nuts over here, or my drop in nuts. All right, so those are just dangling right there, right? And then I'm gonna start capturing these things. Hopefully they're lined up. That's lined up. That's close enough. That's pretty good. Okay, that's pretty far off. There we go. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Cool. Okay. All looking good. Just get a screw in there to start capturing it. Had to slide the side up a little bit because it was drooping back there. Okay. Maybe. Sorta, kinda. Oh, this washer has a little flare to it, I see. Don't want to crack the case. Let's see if I can show you that. I don't know if you can see that little hook the washer has. It'll dig into the case and start cracking it right there if I use that. Kind of weird. Haven't seen that one yet. Okay, that's all right. Let's just keep going here. Now this is fitting a little bit tight. I'll probably change the hole size to have a little more forgiveness. But what you can do if it's tight is push the frame out, right? Put your screw in, and then once it gets in the slot, lever the screw up right there, and then start screwing in. There we go. I gotta do that one more time back here. All right. So before I get it all super tight here, I'm gonna make sure everything's aligned well, right? It's going along this edge, going along this edge well. Yeah, it looks good. Cool. Start tightening things. Oh, I guess I'd start with the drop-ins. So as you get your drop-ins in there, make sure they turn. Make sure you're actually looking inside there. If you can't see, then tighten it and pull on it. If it pulls out, they did not turn, right? They did not turn in the slot. So do that again here. Mine's see-through, so I can watch them turning. You might have a wood side or something. There we go. And now we have a side on. Very nice. Okay, well, do it again on the other side, and then we're going to work on the lid. Oh, so you might think to yourself, wait, don't we need to put slide-ins up here for that lid enclosure? No, and that's because the hinges, the holes are so close together that the slide-ins will get in the way. Now, if you want, you can take the edges of those slot nuts and take them to a grinder and grind one side of them down so that they'll fit. But the problem with the slide-ins is they're about 15 millimeters wide, right? As they go in, the holes are 13 millimeters apart. And so once you put two slot nuts together, the hinge holes won't line up to it because the holes of the slot nuts will be 15 millimeters apart. Hinge the hinge holes are 13 millimeters apart. So you're gonna have to grind those down a little if you want to use slot nuts. So if you want to use slot nuts and grind them down, make sure to preload them. You're gonna have to preload 6, right? Matching pairs, right? So grinded side with grinded side against each other so that the holes can be close enough to each other. If not, I usually just use drop-ins and twist them. So that's what I'll be doing. If you want to follow along there. If you want to be a little more clever, then yeah, grind them down. Anyways, thanks for watching.